Live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, November 24th. I am Josh Engelman, and I'm here to break it all down. And this one's the big one. 13 NBA games. This is ridiculous. 26 of the 30 NBA teams are playing today, and we're going to talk a little bit about all of them. Before we do anything at all, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. We got one on our hands today. We're going to do an abbreviated intro because this one's going to take a while. Assume we're here for the next 90 minutes. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you've got whatever it is that you need. I see tons of coffee cups in chat right now. That I like. We've got our coffees ready, that's for sure. We might need a little bit more of a pick-me-up on a day like today because this one's big time after yesterday's 4-gamer. Got 2 into the top 1%. That's really all you can hope for. None of them really had a fighting chance. A couple of the pieces that you needed, like Fournier and Jeff Green, I had a lot of. I was hoping that I could unlock those pieces, but not the right combination of everything else. So you move on to the next day. Feels pretty similar as to every other day. You just need to combine those pieces on one good day. But it's nice to see everybody here. Good morning. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow, so no process show tomorrow. No surprises there. I will take the day off. Enjoy the family time. I will be live, though, tomorrow, 9:30, I believe, with Adam for the NFL First Look show. And I'll have contenders videos for the Thanksgiving games. Not individual games, one for the entire slate. So for right now, I've probably said as much as I should for the beginning of this show because this one is going to be a long one. So it is about that time. I've got my coffee. I hope you have yours. I don't know what you're drinking today. Coffee, tea, water, Red Bulls, beers. Maybe it's just gravy already. Maybe you're just drinking gravy straight out of a Yeti mug. That's not what I'm doing. I've got coffee. But whatever it is that you're doing, thanks for being here for it. Rise and grind for today, and cheers, everybody. Good luck tonight. Win some money. It's going to be a fun one. Just as good every single day. Now, before we get started, got to give a shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor of this show. Use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up to get yourself a little bit of extra scratch on that first deposit up to $100. Cannot beat it. Well, let's get the music going. Bang. Done. Music in the background. Everything is updated and ready to go. JJ, no caffeine. Whew. I don't need a lot of it anymore. I have really weaned myself down. So, I mean, for those of you that have been watching this for a while, and I don't just mean this year, but for last year's as well, you normally saw me drinking, and get ready for this. So you normally saw me drinking out of this Yeti. Instead, now I'm drinking out of this Yeti. And I would normally have two of these big boys, at least one super early, probably a second one before the strategy show starts. Now I'm down to just this, no mas after that. And then this is primarily decaf. Very, very little amount of caffeine in this. It's probably like a 80-20 split decaf. So I've changed up my mornings quite a bit. Definitely feel better for it. We're doing good. First game up on the docket. The Phoenix Suns. 7-point favorites in Cleveland. 209 total. Let us get the depth charts. There we go. For Phoenix. And buckle up for tonight, by the way. There's going to be some people that just get ruled out later than you would expect. Anybody with like a slightly nagging Q tag that you're not sure of, there's going to be some ambiguity there, and those people might just take it easy and wait until after the holiday. So for Phoenix, we don't really have anything to worry about. It's just Abdel Nader with the Q tag, and that's it. On the Cleveland side, I assume we got a lot of hectic nonsense. Q tag on Garland. Mobley obviously still out. Chetty probable. No Lamar Stevens. I got 4 Lamar Stevens top shots yesterday. 4 in 10 packs of 3. So I got 30. I opened 30 individual cards on Top Shot yesterday. 4 of them were Lamar Stevens. Of all the people. All right, so for Phoenix, this is going to start off pretty easy. I don't really get the sense we're going to be changing much of anything. This is a team that has a very consistent rotation. Only guy that I think that we can do anything for is probably Landry Shamet, and that's going with the assumption that Abdel Nader doesn't play, which I think is mildly reasonable. But for now, I don't think it matters. You're not playing. Even if I gave Shamet 10 more minutes, he's barely playable. So I am comfortable leaving the Phoenix rotation as is. 30 plus minutes to Booker, Paul, Bridges, and Ayton. Everybody else gets into either the mid 20s or teens, and that's all that really matters for Phoenix. It is not a team that warrants a lot of change, particularly on a slate like this. On the Cleveland side, we're assuming Darius Garland is in. Otherwise, this gets a lot more complicated, and those types of guesses are not all that valuable at this point in time. So for Cleveland, other than just bringing Chetty back in, this should be pretty easy. We've got 32 minutes in for Jared Allen from the previous game. He came back and played 36. I have to imagine that Jared Allen is good for at least 35 minutes today, given what he just did. We'll have Kevin Love as the straight backup. We've got 30 minutes in for Dean Wade. That seems pretty reasonable to me. 28 for Markkanen. He played 30. So what we really need to do is cut the Denzel Valentine, Dean Wade minutes. Or Denzel Valentine, Dylan Windler minutes. My apologies. We also need to bump up a lot of the minutes here. So Rubio is in for 32. I'm going to make that 31. And then I'm going to keep Darius Garland in here for 36. So this is going to be something like that. And that leaves me 31 minutes to split between Chetty and Dylan Windler. And for Chetty, I think he's just going to play about 20. And that's going to be 11 for Dylan Windler. And that's going to get us where we need to be. That seems about right. Actually, I probably need to give more minutes to Markkanen. So let's go 19 to Chetty and 10 to Windler. That gets Markkanen up to 30. Feel a little bit better there. They're just going to play these guys big minutes. So first game, we look at Phoenix. We got to remember, there's going to be a lot of people that are available to be played today. Going nuts on any individual one, they need to be really, really good plays. There's nothing wrong with Booker, Paul, Bridges, or Ayton. I have nothing that I could possibly add in terms of their individual status for today. For Cleveland, Jared Allen is 7,500 on FanDuel, has power forward center eligibility. I think he's very clearly the best option from Cleveland. After that, you get guys like Garland, Rubio, Markkanen in a similar bucket to Phoenix. So let's move that on to game number 2, Lakers and Pacers. And by the way, 72 viewers, 39 likes. Doesn't appear that we're going to have that same sort of ratio that we had yesterday. Maybe we caught lightning in a bottle. Who knows? Who knows? I guess we get LeBron back today, right? So let's deal with that now. We're going to take out all of these rates. And we're going to pop LeBron in after yesterday's game, which was gross, by the way. Thanks to Anthony Davis for that one. All right, so we got a split on DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard for reasons that I'll never understand. DeAndre Jordan played 25 minutes yesterday. Sure. Rondo didn't see the floor. Also, sure. We could take those 4 fake Kent Bazemore minutes that never got used away. We can cut Carmelo Anthony down to 26 minutes. We're going to get LeBron in for 34. Now we need to start cutting playing time. Should I assume that Rondo is just going to be out of the rotation? Maybe. Might be a little easier. Avery Bradley in for 25 minutes. That's fine. Wayne Ellington in for 15. That's fine. Talen Horton-Tucker. I mean, he's going to play like 30 minutes, right? So we're still 9 over. And I've cut everybody else. 10-man rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. We're going to have to give way bigger haircuts. Russ's minutes are fine. LeBron's minutes are fine. AD's minutes are fine. Talen Horton-Tucker in for 30. Looks good. Melo in for 26. Looks good. Actually, is it DeAndre Jordan that needs to leave this rotation for these minutes? It kind of is, right? Didn't play the first game LeBron was back. Played a little bit in the second one. Yeah, I'm going to switch those guys to like 8 and 8. That frees up most of the time I needed. So we need 24 minutes for Avery Bradley. That would look like that. And then we need to move 8 more minutes of AD to the 5. And now we got 16 and 18. Bang. There's the Lakers. THT not getting 30 minutes tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Feels like he should. All right, I think we're good there from a rates or from a minutes perspective. Let's get the rates here quickly for the Lakers, and this is a not difficult task. So we get AD's usage rate in for this year, which is 28.1. Done. We get LeBron in. Did AD have any different rates? Assist rate 4, 4.5, 9. Okay, that's fine. LeBron, 28% usage rate this year. Probably not going to do that. So we'll go to 29. Assist rate way down for Bron this year. That's not surprising at all. As is the rebounding rate by a staggering sum. We've got Russ, 29% usage rate. We know what we're doing there. Just got to cut his assist rate. And then Talen Horton-Tucker, something around 20.5. Actually, I'll probably need to take him to 28. I think 28 makes a little bit more sense. We can go 9 and 9 here. Yeah, that's fine. Crispy, what up? Good morning. Butthole, good morning. Tom Melton, good morning. Good morning to everybody. This coffee tastes really good right now. To Indy, I'm hoping that we don't have too much going on for the Pacers, and we don't. Just a Q tag on LeVert, which we're not going to be dealing with at all, which means the Pacers rotation should largely be what we want it to be, or what we think it should be. They've had a really garbage rotation these past 3 games. Have they been getting truck sticked? Pacers schedule. Has that been 3 blowouts, or are they just is Carlisle being super weird? Huge blowout-ish. All right, super close game against the Hornets. That's the one that doesn't make any sense to me. Chalk that up to just a weird one, and we'll maintain this. Although, if Chris Duarte is really going to play significantly less minutes, that's probably one we do need to adjust. Like, how do I not project Malcolm Brogdon for 35 minutes, or Sabonis for 35 minutes, or Turner for 31? Or Karis LeVert for less? Like, where are these minutes supposed to go? Morning, Thomas. Yeah, this is like, I gotta go forward with it. This is a great spot for Indy just because of the pace of the Lakers, because they play so fast. This ends up looking like a really nice spot for half of the Pacers. Like, if we look at the Lakers, Anthony Davis is the only guy that I have any interest in at 11K on both sites, and he was not great. So I still like him here. Russ is okay. LeBron is not all that appealing. Talen Horton-Tucker is not all that appealing. But for Indy, I love Sabonis and Brogdon and Turner and LeVert. Like, that's... I mean, these guys are underpriced for this spot. It's a massive pace-up spot. You have to assume that these guys are going to play starter minutes again. Scott, if you can find that, let me know. But, like, they're just not going to go and play. It's like Sabonis just isn't going to play 24 minutes a game. Neither is Turner. Neither is Brogdon. That's just not going to happen. So, for right now, I'm pretty happy with where this looks. Adam and I will talk about it on the strategy show for sure. I'm probably over projecting Karis LeVert, but he's got a massive usage rate this year. I mean, Karis LeVert has played 276 minutes with a 29.5% usage rate. Why would I think that's going anywhere? Sabonis, 23% usage rate. I'm lower than that. He looks good. Brogdon, 26.5% usage rate. I can bring it down by 0.5%, but sure. Turner, 18% usage rate, basically. Looks incredible on DraftKings. Like, I've already cut Sabonis' assist rate. His rebounds are still there. I like Indy on DraftKings. Like, Sabonis for 8,500, Brogdon for 7,600, Turner for 6K, LeVert for 5,500. I like all of these guys. I mean, we've got Indy as the 15th fastest team, so neutral. We've got the Lakers as the 2nd fastest team in the league. Keep your eye on the Pacers for tonight. Keep your eye on the ownership. I think it's a great spot. It's a bad Lakers defense, too. All right, we're through another one. That's game 2, right? Yeah, 1, 2. Game number 3. The Charlotte Hornets taking on the Orlando Magic. Hornets are 8-point favorites in Orlando, if you want to know how bad the Magic are. And I believe everything is business as usual for Charlotte, which means we're not really going to have to make any changes. Still the doubtful tag on PJ Washington. On Orlando, no Cole Anthony, no Isaac, no Fultz, no Michael Carter-Williams, no more. Gary Harris questionable. No Cole Anthony matters, so we'll hash that out in a second. I don't really have any changes to make for Charlotte here. At least I don't think I do. Terry Rozier in for 32 minutes. I feel fine there. LaMelo in for 35. Should it be 36? Yeah, probably. So we'll do that. Mason Plumlee in for 26. I think that's about right. 36 for Bridges. You know, you can make a case for 37. I don't think it matters. We're seeing Nick Richards and Ish Smith like bounce back and forth to be the 10th guy. I don't think that changes anything really here. Could I split Jalen McDaniels minutes into him and Nick Richards? Sure. I don't know how necessary that is. I am going to take them from Ish and go to Nick Richards, but it doesn't change anything. Gordon Hayward in for 35. That's actually a spot where I could probably go to 34. Same for Cody Martin. Probably doesn't need 28, although did play 28 the last time out, so. Let's maybe go to 34 on Hayward. Lots to like here for Charlotte today. JJ, yeah, let me point something out here quickly. So I know you're seeing that like minutes are missing in places. I don't care so long as the total is close. I don't really like. I've got Torrey Craig split across these three positions. I can consolidate and make this all clean. Nothing is affected by the way that the minutes add up. It just is a visual for me. So the only thing that matters is that I'm trying to go to 240. And even then, I don't have to go to 240. If I'm not comfortable, you know, figuring out where those final 4 or 5 minutes go, my model is set up to basically give those minutes. It doesn't just like only go to 236 in that case. It basically creates like a ghost player that plays 4 minutes and adds in all the stats so that it doesn't really affect the other guys. So we got Charlotte done. Orlando now up. We got to take Cole Anthony out. This one we're actually going to have to take a second for because, unfortunately, it's going to end up looking really important. We don't know the status on Gary Harris. He didn't play the last game. That actually matters a lot. Right hand sprain? Okay. I'm going to assume that Gary Harris is playing today. I don't know really what else to do. So, yeah, JJ, no problem. That last Orlando game, they got their ass kicked. We saw them start Michael Mulder, Wendell Carter Jr., Franz Wagner, Mo Bamba, Jalen Suggs. That's certainly a matchup. I can't imagine Michael Mulder is starting again. Cantor, that's a deep pull, man. I don't know how many people are going to be getting that one. Honey Badger, I'm here every day, man. I don't go anywhere. Like Mulder, I don't even have Michael Mulder as a part of this rotation. So let's add a new guy. And he spells it all weird, right? All right, apparently I have Michael Mulder on a basketball team. Let's figure out which one that is. Still have him on Golden State. That's great. All right, let's shift that around. So we're going to do by team, by name. I mean, Patrick Swayze in Ghost is not exactly like a movie people are watching a lot at this point. We're talking about a movie that came out, what, like 30 years ago? Like, when did Ghost come out? 1990. This movie is 31 years old. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a deep pull. It's part of your lexicon, maybe. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. All right, Michael Mulder. Look, Michael Mulder's is not... I don't think Michael Mulder is starting here. I'm assuming that it's Suggs. We're going to give Suggs 30 minutes. We're going to give RJ Hampton like a pretty decent chunk of run. In the 2 games that Cole Anthony's been out, RJ Hampton's played 28 minutes. So I'm giving him 28 minutes. At which point, Maybe Mulder's like the backup here. And we can figure out where else we need to move people around. Mo Wagner continues to see the floor, sometimes 23 minutes worth of it. I don't really know how to make this rotation work. Terrence Ross's minutes went back down. I don't know why. So let's bump up Chuma Okiki's minutes to 26. That's actually a problem, potentially. I tune into the strategy show for this one. I mean, how do you... Iggy Brasdeikis, they're playing for 12 minutes just because Cole Anthony's out? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're going 12 deep here. They're going 11 deep in this last one. The minutes seem basically random. Orlando stinks. All right, maybe I go 26 to RJ Hampton, 24 to Terrence Ross. I'm okay with 29 to Wendell Carter, but like maybe I shouldn't be. We'll go 28. 29 to Mo Bamba seems fine. Franz Wagner I probably have with too many minutes, but again, if it's competitive, I think he's playing those minutes. And we still have no idea on the status of Gary Harris. Let's figure out what these rates look like with no Cole Anthony on the floor. By the way, 656, 100 viewers, 60 likes. If you have not hit the like button yet, please do so. It helps me out a ton. Yeah, Patrick, they might have been down by 40 in the first 4 minutes. All right, so we know Cole Anthony's not playing. With Cole Anthony off the floor this year, Jalen Suggs has a 27% usage rate. Certainly going to be jamming him in. Anybody else get to a usage rate that matters? Terrence Ross's goes up. I'm going to keep Wendell Carter right where he is. We're going to keep Franz Wagner, I assume, pretty close to where he is. We'll go down a little bit. Chuma's got an 18% usage rate. That's already correct. RJ Hampton, 19% usage rate. We'll keep him at his 20 mark. I'm going to lock in Chuma Okiki's 18. Create some spillover in some places, but that's okay. I think we're fine here for Orlando, and we're going to have a lot to like for the Magic and the Hornets. So for Charlotte, $9,300 LaMelo Ball on FanDuel looks fantastic. He looks pretty good for 10-7 on DraftKings, if we're being perfectly honest in this spot. Miles Bridges, I think, is a good play across both sites. 8,200 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings. And then Cody Martin for 3,400 can be a decent value on DraftKings. Shooting guard, small forward. I am going to take a minute away from him because I just don't feel very comfortable with his minutes. But it is there. He is a value. You can go to Hayward and Rozier. Like, Charlotte's one of the deeper teams for fantasy today. For Orlando, Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter on FanDuel would be the first two guys that I have any sort of interest in. I'm almost assuredly overprojecting these guys, but I don't really see a natural way to change it on a day like today. Points got to be scored by somebody. On DraftKings, I like them even more. 6,400 for Bamba, 5,500 for Wendell Carter Jr. Franz Wagner is 3,900 on DraftKings. He's probably going to be one of the more popular plays just at that mark. 4,800 for Jalen Suggs. 4K for Chuma Okiki on DK. Like, I mean, you're probably playing like 6 different Orlando Magic guys today with no Cole Anthony. And if Gary Harris gets ruled out, it's probably even more. Charlotte is the 3rd fastest team in the league. Orlando is 9th. Like, there are going to be a lot of possessions here. A lot of missed shots, potentially. A lot of rebounding to go around. This is a big time fantasy game. Keep your eyes peeled on that one. That news is going to be big. 659. Trying to get to that 100 mark. Half hour in. All right, we're on to the Brooklyn Nets and Boston Celtics. For Brooklyn, I have no idea what's going on here, other than I assume Kyrie isn't going to play. So on the Brooklyn side, no Joe Harris, no Bruce Brown, no Nick Claxton, no Kyrie. So same rotation as the previous game, or at least same availabilities as the previous game. For Boston, Q-Tag on Jaylen Brown and Jay Rich. No worries about Marcus Smart. So just pretty normal rotations here on both sides. I don't think we're going to have too many issues other than just our general confusion of what Brooklyn does. Like Blake playing 9 minutes. Sure. 34 for Patty Mills. Feeling pretty good there. That just sort of is what it is now. 36 for Harden. 36 for Durant. Yes. Should it be more? Probably. Don't totally feel comfortable doing that, though. We saw Aldridge play 34 and a half minutes this last time out. Your guess is as good as mine if that continues. James Johnson played 28, so I feel comfortable with his 24. DeAndre Bembry played 23. Cam Thomas played 14. I don't feel all that bad. Like, the Blake minutes are the weird ones. I guess I could comfortably say that I don't think he's going to play more than that. So I do want to give more to Aldridge. Javon Carter I have in for 22. That's one that I can walk back. So... Oh, I'm going to sneeze. It was a good mute. It was a good mute. I can't go much more than 26 for Aldridge. I feel like 24 is okay for James Johnson. We can get Cam Thomas up to 12. And then maybe give Paul Millsap like some stupid amount of run. They just have too many bigs. And, well, I guess I got to take some minutes off of Bembry, too. I can't really assume that he's going to be playing 30 again. So we'll do something that looks like that. I don't care about the location of these minutes for right now. Rates are all going to stay the same. There's not much to like from Brooklyn here. There's not going to be much to like from Boston if I had to guess either. And for now, we're assuming that everybody is in. So we've got, Tatum in for 36 minutes. We've got Jaylen Brown played 23 in his return. I'm going to go ahead and bring him down to 28 for today. Josh Richardson did not play the last time out. I got him in for 18. I'll at least make it 20. And then, we could work through the rest of this where we got Schroeder in for 30, seems fine. Marcus Smart in for 32, seems fine. Romeo Langford getting some time. Aaron Nesmith could be out of the rotation potentially. So I'm going to take his minutes down a little bit, give some more to Romeo Langford. There's not a lot here. We'll do 28 and 20 for those guys. Take Grant Williams up to 13. Actually, Grant Williams could afford couple more minutes. Not that it's going to make a difference, but all right. That's a pretty balanced outlook. The Celtics are going to look a little bit better on DraftKings. For Brooklyn, James Harden for 10-2 on FanDuel is fine. Harden and Durant just feel too expensive today. Otherwise, I don't have any interest in anything else for Brooklyn. It's a bad spot. On the Boston end, Tatum for 10K on FanDuel seems fine. 10-1 on DraftKings. You get Robert Williams for 5,600 on DraftKings. That's a spot that I would always want to be paying attention to. Just he's got like monster upside for GPPs. This is just not a great DFS game, so don't sweat the Boston-Brooklyn one too much. On to the Chicago Bulls at the Houston Rockets. Bulls are 8.5-point favorites, 212 total. When we look at Chicago, we've got Q tags on Caruso and Vooch. Probable tag on Javonte Green. For Houston, just a Q tag on Porter, and I believe he said that he was going to be playing. Not that I want to just immediately listen to a player, but, you know. So, Caruso missed one game. You know, we're obviously assuming he is in here. The Vooch piece is interesting, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be available. I don't know how much he's going to play. Probably not a ton. So, let's assume that Vooch is going to play. I'm going to cut out everybody in the rotation that, like, needs to be cut out quickly. And then we'll start building it out. So I'm going to stick with 36 minutes for Lonzo. And I'm going to bring 34 minutes down from Caruso to probably something like 30. We're going to give Vooch 26 minutes. I'm going to give Tony Bradley like 16. And then we can get Derek Jones in for, I don't know, something like 16. That feels pretty good so far. I guess DeMar is just going to play like an absolute ton of minutes. But let's hash out the rest of this first. Troy Brown played all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, that was with no Caruso. That makes sense. Cantor, it should be playing right now. Do you not hear the background music? Because it's playing on my end. All right, we need to give Levine 36 minutes. We'll give him 35, actually. So that's fine. Kobe White, backup point guard minutes, plus a little extra. Let's get him up to 20. Yeah, I guess DeMar's just going to be like the straight 4. That leaves me 25 minutes. I don't think Troy Brown's going to be that guy. So we've got Javonte Green, Dosunmu, not too much else. Give Dosunmu 14. Javonte Green 11. Feels a bit off, but I don't know where else I'm going to get those minutes from, so. And it doesn't matter, really. Rates probably need to change. Just because Vooch is back, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. DeMar will take down to 30. Lonzo to something less than that. Levine, 30. We get Vooch to 21, I guess. And then we got to bring Lonzo down a bit to, call it 17. The rest of that should be fine. We're not rostering anybody else. All right, so that's Chicago. Not a ton to like, and you know exactly who you're going to, too. This is where it's going to get gross. Houston. Yuck. All right, I've already got Kevin Porter in, which helps. But I think they've been moving some people around. Not really. I guess Garrison Matthews is just in this rotation, although someone in the Garrison Matthews DJ Augustine trio is going to go away. I just don't know who it is. 32 minutes for Christian Wood. Like, maybe that's too many. Doesn't feel like it. But if you give him 32 minutes, he pops like crazy. Kevin Porter needs to go down to 30. That much I know. Armani Brooks played 25 minutes for reasons that don't make a ton of sense. Eric Gordon in for 29 feels fine. I don't really have many changes I want to make here. Do I think DJ Augustine plays today? I don't know. Could I just take those 12 minutes and give them to Armani Brooks and nothing changes? Yep. So let's do that. The real problems here are Porter if he plays. I think he plays 30 if he does. Christian Wood, I think he plays 32 minutes in a competitive game. So I don't know what else I could change there. I've got Jalen Green in for 32. I think that's what he's going to play if this is competitive. I actually think he's going to play more than that if it's competitive. So let's take these minutes off of Daniel House. Let's take Jalen Green up to 34. I got Jayshawn Tate in for 28. That seems fine. There's just not much else that we could really do here. So rates should all be the same, basically. I don't really have any changes. I do need to add a couple rates, I guess, or at least double check that they're not wrong. But Wood at 22%. I'll bring him down a little bit. That's fine. Jalen Green at 22.5%. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr. 24.5%. I can't make a change there. And we got Şengün 21.5. It's there. Tice 16. It's there. Eric Gordon 20. It's a little high. Tate at 18. That's fine. So everything's set. This is a tough game. So for the Bulls, it's DeMar, Lonzo, and Levine. Nobody else for me, and none of those guys are ultra priorities. Levine being 8K on FanDuel is interesting. These guys just look a little bit better on FanDuel than they do on DraftKings. For the Houston side, Christian Wood is 6,700 on FanDuel. That's got to be a popular play today. It just has to be. It was a great spot, too. Kevin Porter looks okay for 5,600. I think Jalen Green, Christian Wood, and Kevin Porter look good on DraftKings. You could even say that Jayshawn Tate and Daniel Tice need a little bit of a look. All right, so we are officially 5 games in. We have 8 more to go. This is a hell of a slate, people. Cheers. Again, rise and grind. We're already 45 minutes in. Next one up, Toronto Raptors. Taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Raptors are 4-point dogs in Memphis. For Toronto, Q tag on Anunoby, Precious, Yuta Watanabe. On Memphis, we've got the Q tag on Dylan Brooks, no DeAnthony Melton. Morning, Jerry. All right, so we'll start for Toronto. Let's read the blurbs on OG and on Precious Achiuwa, because I don't really know their statuses. All right, we're going to be projecting OG Anunoby in. We're going to be projecting Precious Achiuwa in as well. All right, so full run for everybody. Let's gut the rotation. We'll move through it faster. Fred VanVleet, 38 minutes. Yes. OG Anunoby, at least for this one, we're going to bring him right back in for 36. Scott, not yet. Gary Trent, 36, right? Probably. Precious, if he plays, which he has the plats to, 26 minutes. I'm giving him 26 minutes. Do we think that's OG Anunoby induced? Probably not, right? Yeah, let's go down to 24. We'll go to 24 there. And then Kem Birch, 22. We get Pascal Siakam to 34. We get Scotty Barnes to 34. So maybe something like that. And then, are they going to go 8-man? Yeah, more or less. So Banton and Mikhailuk need small amounts of minutes. Okay, these rotations are preposterous. These guys are going to play big minutes. Somebody's going to leave this rotation. When everybody was in except for Precious, Mikhailuk and Banton basically didn't play, and Chris Boucher was just like clean out of the rotation. So I'm assuming Chris Boucher is not going to be in the rotation, and that we're going to get a very small amount of minutes going to Banton and Mikhailuk. So we're going to go 8 and 8. Shouldn't matter. I do need to change the rates since OG Anunoby has had a bit of a usage bump this year. Fred VanVleet, 23.5. Gary Trent, 20.9. OG Anunoby on the season is at 24. I don't think that continues, so I'm going to go 22.5. That's still a bigger number for him. Pascal Siakam, since he's been back, has been at 25. Precious is at like 18.5. And then Scotty Barnes is at 20.5, and I think that comes down a little bit. So that's where we're at for Toronto. Let's check out Memphis. I think we're just going to assume that Dillon Brooks is playing for today. Will Chelsea repeat as UCL champs? I hope not. I want that trophy back on my shelf. We won it 6 times. I'll keep singing. I don't care. All right. Dillon Brooks. Like, he just sat out for, like, basically general soreness, right? Oh, no, he missed 2 more with the hamstring injury. Okay. That's at least a little telling, but, you know, last game he played was Thursday. That's enough time off that I'm going to assume that he does play today. Which means some people are going to need to lose minutes. We're going to take Dillon Brooks into 28. Which is going to take Tillman back out of the rotation. We're going to have Jaren Jackson in for 29. It's hard to go much higher. We'll go 30. It's hard to go much higher than that. Brandon Clark, I don't know, like 8-16 maybe? Slow-mo back down to 22. That works. Zaire Williams somewhere around 20. We're slowly getting there. All right, 35 for Ja makes sense. 17 for Tyus Jones doesn't. We'll go 14. We'll bring John Konchar's minutes back down when Brooks was... Not that they need to go all the way down, but like... Actually, they don't even really need to go down all that much. I think this works. And then from a rates perspective, we don't have too much to change. We just need to make sure that Dillon Brooks is in there for his monstrous usage rate for whatever he does when he's on the floor. Happy Thanksgiving, Alan. I assume you're still allowed to say that. If you can't, I don't really give a shit about getting canceled for it. Desmond Bane, 20.5. That's fine. Dillon Brooks, we'll give him his monster usage rate. I'm just going to put him in for his normal rate. I don't even think that that's going to be correct today, but we'll see. Steven Adams, 14.5. All right, so we're good there. All right. This game is tough, but on Toronto... I like Fred VanVleet on both sites. 8,400 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings. I actually think it's good when Toronto is healthy. I don't think VanVleet can create enough on his own, but when you have the other good guys out there, I think it helps a ton. Scotty Barnes for 6,500. I've got some interest. Gary Trent, I got a little bit of interest, at least on DraftKings at 6,100. Theodore, you never know, man. Things change every day. For Memphis, Ja, 9,400 and 9,800. I don't mind it. 6,300 for Jaren Jackson on DraftKings. That looks good. 4,400 for Steven Adams. Works as like a value punt. Whew. Guys, I'm tired of talking and we're halfway done. Detroit at Milwaukee. This one should be a steaming pile. The Pistons are 14-point dogs in Milwaukee. On the Detroit side, still no Killian Hayes. Isaiah Stewart's got another one. So this is going to be the same team we just saw yesterday against the Lakers. Dave Jones, good morning. On the Milwaukee side, no Brook Lopez, no Dante DiVincenzo. So normal rotation for Milwaukee. This is a gross game. Luka Garza got the start. Didn't go all that well. I would be legitimately shocked if he started today. So I'm going to give him 16 minutes. We're going to give the rest of those minutes to Trey Lyles. I just don't think they have a choice on a day like today. Lyles played 24 yesterday. Should have known that was going to happen too. We'll get Jeremy Grant back up to 34, I guess. There we go. We've got Sadiq Bey in for 34. Started off so hot yesterday and then shit the bed. Cade was terrible. 16 for Josh Jackson seems about right. Frank Jackson was the guy that got the big minutes bump. Hamidou Diallo didn't. So we got 26 for Frank Jackson. I think we want to go more. I'm going to go to 34 on Corey Joseph. That gets me 28 on Jackson, 20 on Diallo. Oh, we're jamming Corey Joseph again today, people. Yeah. Ronald, if Garza was in foul trouble yesterday, let's see how he deals with Giannis coming down the paint. He can't start today. They have to go to Trey Lyles. They can't start Garza against the Bucks. He has to play against the second unit. It's just not good. It's not going to go well. Even if it does, he can't close. He can't play more than like 16 minutes today. The only way that he does is if this game goes the way that we think it does and Milwaukee wins by 400. I guess I don't have much to change for Milwaukee. Did they leave Wara out of this? No, they left. Oh, wait. Semi's out, right? Yeah, for a while. Okay, I can remember that. So Wara did come back into the rotation and play a solid 26 minutes. Sure. Although, again, this was a 900-point ass beating of the Orlando Magic. Who wasn't actually in the rotation? Georgios, Justin Robinson, and Thanasis weren't. So Wara was actually back properly. Thanasis was not going to play. So let's take those minutes away for right now and then figure out the rest of it. Giannis in for 34. Sure. I don't know. 30 for Portis. Sure. I mean, really, I just got to give 14 minutes here to Jordan Wara and then cut someone else's minutes somewhere. But I don't think I actually can cut anyone's minutes anywhere. So I think we just move forward with this as Milwaukee rates are going to be the same. As we look at Detroit, look, Corey Joseph is 4,100 on FanDuel. He's going to be one of the most popular plays there from a value perspective. 4,400 on DraftKings doesn't suck either. Cade Cunningham, solid on both sites, no priority. Sadiq Bey, really good on FanDuel at 5,700, less so on DK at 6,300, but still valuable. For Milwaukee, clearly you can pay up to Giannis, 11-7 and 12-2. There's going to be enough value to do it. It's a tough matchup to want to do it. Drew Holiday's price at 7K across both sites is a little wonky. Middleton's going to fall into some more minutes eventually, and that price is going to come up. Let's look at the summary tables quickly. How many games have we looked at? That was game number 7. So if we're just looking at the raw totals of everyone at this point, favorite plays by Boom on FanDuel. We're looking at LaMelo, Corey Joseph, Giannis, Christian Wood, Fred VanVleet, Malcolm Brogdon, Jared Allen, Sadiq Bey, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter. On DK, Brogdon, Carter, VanVleet, Miles Turner, Franz Wagner, Miles Bridges, Karis LeVert. Really like Indiana. Alrighty. Another one down. 6 games to go. Miami Heat at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Don't know what we've got going on here for this Miami team. Just because they were up in the air yesterday. D-tag on Markieff Morris, so nothing else for Miami. That actually is helpful. Minnesota, just a Q-tag on Okogie, so we probably don't have too much to change here. Did Max Strus just get a DNP CD yesterday? Or was he, like, out properly? He got a DNP CD. Holy shit. All right, I don't think that that is going to be a long-term decision. They went to Gabe Vincent. I don't think that's going to be the new plan. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So I don't have anything that I want to change for this rotation. I think this is what I'm going with. I will take 1 minute away from Duncan Robinson and give it to Tyler Hero. But same rotation as yesterday for me for Miami. I don't think Vincent is permanent. Well, I guess I should be more specific. I don't think Max Strus being out of the rotation is a permanent decision. Minnesota. Also, probably not making any changes here. I mean, big minutes to Towns and Edwards. You know, maybe we take a minute off of Edwards now. Take it to 35. 30 for Pat Bev. I think I can get behind that in a close game. 33 for Russell. 36 for Towns in a close game. Maybe we want to say that's 35. Get another minute to Naz Reid, who hasn't actually deserved those minutes. Jaden McDaniels had his 30-minute game on his yo-yo. But I think we're okay here. And I don't think there's going to be a lot to look at, given Miami's defense and pace. Jimmy Butler, 10-1 and 10K. Fine. Bam for 8K on FanDuel looks good. That's really it for Miami. For Minnesota... Okay, Minnesota on DraftKings is different. Towns for 9,400 looks good. Anthony Edwards for 7,400 with shooting guard small forward eligibility is going to be very popular. D'Angelo Russell for 7,300 looks good. There's more to like for Minnesota than there is for Miami by like a long shot. Kickstart. Good morning. Oh, and we're up over 100 likes because you guys are the best crowd in the world. All right, 5 games to go. Washington Wizards at the New Orleans Pelicans, 208.5 total. What do we know about these two teams? We've got Washington, no Rui, no Thomas Bryant, Davis Bertans in, so nothing too crazy there other than the Bertans piece. And then for the Pelicans, Q-tag on Devontae Graham. Otherwise, we know everything else. Nate, good morning. So not a lot we need to change here, other than just sort of freeing up the Davis Bertans minutes. I don't really know where those are going to come from. There's not a natural place, but he's clearly going to be a part of the rotation. So we need to figure it out. Which means, how do we get Davis Bertans 16 minutes? That is the question. It seems like Aaron Holiday is the most likely guy to lose some of that time. I also think that Neto is primed to lose some of it. No, Ronald Jones. Rui is not in. All right, so now I need 10 additional minutes. Actually, it's probably just Corey Kispert, right? I'm just going to axe Kispert. Denny's going to move down in position and play 20 minutes. And we'll do something like that. I think that's probably the most likely scenario here. Ruin. Pelicans should be easy. I think I said it was a Q tag on Graham, and I know that he was out in the last one. I was just making sure that it wasn't an out tag. What do we know about him, though? Missed 3 straight games, left foot. I don't really know what his status is, but I have him in currently, and I'm going to move forward with him in, which means that I'm not really going to change anything here. They did take Jackson Hayes out of the rotation this last time out, went to Willie Hernan-Gomez. Don't know if that's a long-term decision, but I'm willing to make that flip just for today. It won't make a difference. I got Devontae Graham in for 32 minutes. You know, maybe he doesn't do that if he comes back. We'll take it to 30. Coffee and Kush, good morning. Yeah, this seems fine. Not really a lot we can change here. We just sort of need news. When we know the guys that we're at least mildly interested in playing. So, for Washington, BP, good morning. For Washington, it's basically nothing. You guys know the guys that can show up in a lineup, but there are no priorities. For the Pelicans, Joe Val is 8K on FanDuel. I think that looks really good. Brandon Ingram for 7,700 across both sites, particularly on DraftKings, looks good. Josh Hart looks solid. Not much else here. 4 to go. Oh, this one should be a treat. The Utah Jazz. Israel, I lost last night too, but that's pretty common. Utah Jazz, 12.5 point favorites in Oklahoma City, 210 total. God, Utah should just bring their G League team. What do we know about either side? Utah, full strength. And Oklahoma City, no Shea. Okay, sure. That'll be fun. All right, Utah's already set up. I don't have a single change to make. That is the same rotation we always have for the Jazz. Let's switch it up then and try and hash out this Oklahoma City team. I'm going to delete the entire rotation so that we can start from scratch. Who started this last game without Shea? Where's that game hiding? There it is. So we got Baisley, Robinson, Earl, Giddey, Dort, and Derek Favors. That's who started? So they started Jeremiah Robinson Earl alongside Favors. Okay, sure. And those guys all closed, except they didn't close with Favors, and they basically closed with Isaiah Roby in that spot. I don't know how much we could take away from that, but all right. So I guess we're going to say this is going to be Giddey for 32 minutes. We're going to get Derek Favors playing his standard issue 18. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, probably something like 28. And then I guess Mike Muscala plays 14, 16 minutes, something like that. We get Darius Baisley in for his standard 32. We get Poku in for, I don't know, call it 14. Backup point guard run. Ty Jerome, I guess, sort of. From a technical standpoint, probably not true. Aaron Wiggins is playing about 16 minutes a game. We got to give Dort his time. Dort in at 33. That leaves me 35 more minutes. Kenrich Williams needs to play like 18. That leaves me 17 minutes for who? Who don't I have in the rotation yet? Isaiah Roby, I guess. I hate this team so much. I truly do. All right, so let's give Isaiah Roby 10 minutes. It appears Robinson Earl can do something like that. Then we bump Poku down. We bump Dort down. 25? Yeah. 7 minutes left over for, I don't know, Gabriel Deck? Sure. Doesn't matter. Unfortunately, though, rates matter here, since we have no Shea. Oklahoma City is just impossible. Yeah, Kickstart, you're spot on. Daddy21607, good morning. Congratulations, by the way. All right, with no Shea, Dort has a 24% usage rate in 70-something minutes. Josh Giddey's is at 21. Let's just lock that in. And then we'll lock in Dort at 23.5. Jeremiah Robinson Earl around 16. Darius Baisley, I'm going to say 20.5. Nobody else is going to be a worthwhile play, so I don't have to touch anything. For Utah, we know exactly what we're doing. It's the same thing every time. Donovan Mitchell, sure. Rudy Gobert is okay. For Oklahoma City, since it actually matters, Josh Giddey is 6K on FanDuel, just shooting guard eligible. He's the best option and probably really the only option. Lou Dort is 5,100 with shooting guard small forward on DraftKings. He looks good. Giddey looks good on DraftKings, same eligibility. Baisley and Jeremiah Robinson Earl also look good. There's a lot more for Oklahoma City on DraftKings than there is on FanDuel tonight. This is not a fun slate. 3 games to go. Atlanta at San Antonio. Atlanta might look pretty good here, given the pace of the San Antonio Spurs. Do they have anybody out? Just Hunter and Okongwu. Atlanta might pop here because of San Antonio. So we know what we're getting out of Trae Young, John Collins, Clint Capella, Bogdanovich, Kevin Huerter. Their rotation is pretty much set now. I got Cam Reddish in for 26 minutes. Might be a little high. Let's go 25 here, 24 to Gallo. Might make it a little tough. 31 to Capella seems fine. Rates are all going to be the same. Pace is going to help here. San Antonio side, don't totally know where they stand. Just a Q tag on McDermott. So not much that I want to change here. We got DeJounte Murray in for not enough minutes. Let's bump that up. Jakob Poeltl played 31, so he is officially back to his normal run, which means that I can just give Drew Eubanks the backup minutes. Sort of. Keita Bates-Diop for some reason. Oh, yeah, McDermott was out. Okay. Yeah, that all looks fine then. Keldon Johnson, maybe his minutes are coming down a bit. It's so hard to decide who what's going to pop out of that. Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, even McBuckets to a degree. This seems fine for San Antonio, and I think that we're going to have a real staggering amount of Jakob Poeltl here. I think his price is broken. DeJounte Murray's got a 24.9% usage rate this season. Derek White is at 17. Devin Vassell is at 19. McBuckets is at 15.5. I'm going to leave him at 17. Jakob Poeltl. 18.4% usage rate this year. He's not rebounding as much, defensively at least, more so offensively. I can't give him an 18% usage rate. That's so far away from his norms. But I will give him 16, at which point he's going to show up a ton. And then we get to Lonnie Walker at like 23. Wait till we see this price. So for Atlanta first, it's not that anybody individually looks great, but Trae Young, John Collins, Clint Capella, Kevin Huerter, and Bogdan Bogdanovic are just interesting to me because of this game. The most interesting piece here is going to be Jakob Poeltl for 5,700 and 5,800. I think that's going to be like the best mid-tier center price you're going to find today if he's going to be able to play 32 minutes. DeJounte Murray's price looks pretty good across both sites. Keldon Johnson is still just 5,500 on DraftKings. That works as well. 2 to go. We're making better time than I thought we would. We still have 2 optimal lineups to run for DraftKings and FanDuel. We've got power rankings to run at the end of this show. So if you're here and you haven't done it yet, please hit that thumbs up. Let's go to Philly. They are 10.5-point underdogs in Golden State. Q tag on Seth Curry, Danny Green, and Tobias Harris. We know that there's still no Joel Embiid. Not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do with this one. I still have Tobias Harris in, so he's going to stay in. I've got Seth Curry in. He can stay in. I guess I'm going to project Danny Green in as well, which means that we got to start cutting some minutes. So I'm going to keep Drummond. I'm going to keep Charles Bassey. We're going to take some of the minutes away from Furkan Korkmaz, some of the minutes away from Matisse Thybulle. So we'll go 18 here. And that gets me to 8 for Danny Green. George Niang's minutes are going to have to come down quite a bit. We'll take him to 18. So I think we could do something like that. So we get Tobias to 34. We'll do something like this. Hold'em King. I'm glad you don't sleep if you don't hit the like button. I hope that's everybody's problem. That probably works for Philly today. I don't even think we need to care too much about these rates. There is a little bit to like for Philly, but this is a terrible spot. And we have no idea who's actually playing. Now, for Golden State, we know we have a lot of things to change because this is not the same team that it was the last time out. We have no Clay, although he's working his way back. Iggy is out. Everybody else is available. I'm just gutting this whole thing since the last game out was with Steph out. So it's easier to just, like I didn't play Sunday, so it's easier to just rebuild like this. We'll go 35 minutes to Steph. I hope I didn't delete his rates. I did, like a moron. Center minutes go to Kevon Looney. Had been playing 26 over the past 2. I don't think that's a long-term decision. I think he's more going to be in the 20 range. And then we get Draymond in for the other 28, plus 4 more. That takes Draymond to 32. We'll get Damian Lee 13 minutes. We got to give Jordan Poole his 30. We got to give Andrew Wiggins his 32. We missing anybody that gets a ton? No. Next up on the list of guys that just play a bunch is going to be Otto Porter. We'll go 20. We're going to go Juan Toscano Anderson, 16. Bielitsa, 8. Cumbucket, 8. Gary Payton, 18. That's 11, guys. That might be it. We'll give Moses Moody 8 as well. Who the hell cares? We're not playing any of these idiots. Let's just correct a couple of these rates here. Not that we need to make too many big changes, other than just goosing Steph's a bit since he breaks my model. Can't give Steph his real usage rate or he will never show up. Let's just hold him in at his normal 33. Jordan Poole, 26% usage rate. Draymond is at 14, and Andrew Wiggins is at 26. We'll go 25.5. Don't have to give minutes to anybody else. Bang. All right, so for Golden State and Philly, this one should be pretty easy. We don't know the news on Philly, but I like Tobias Harris if he plays for 7,600 on FanDuel. I like Drummond for 7,800 on FanDuel as well. I think it's a decent spot for him, oddly enough. And then for Golden State, I don't like anybody. I really don't. I guess Steph, but I find better options. We're closing it out. Portland Trailblazers, Sacramento Kings. Blazers are 2.5-point favorites in Sacramento. Best I can tell, we don't have any changes to make for Portland. This is just a full-strength team. And they're on a back-to-back, so we don't even have any other news. I am leaving this rotation to be the exact same thing we have been seeing. So no changes for me there. I will take 1 minute away from Yusuf Nurkic and give it back to Cody Zeller. I was getting a little bit too much Nurk yesterday. For Sacramento, at the very least, we want to look at their rotation. I also don't know who started their last game. That's important. They went to Fox, Barnes, Halliburton, Holmes, Mo Harkless back in the starting lineup, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Bagley just played backup run. It looks like they staggered Tyrese Halliburton, and that's it. And then Mo Harkless basically got a Bogans in the second half. Metu was full stop out of the rotation. Good to know. Wasn't shocking. 29 minutes for Rashawn Holmes is a very reasonable spot for me. Whether it's Tristan Thompson or Alex Len, I don't know. They played both. Those guys are going to split all the center minutes either way. Let's just go 9 and 6. Rashawn Holmes at 29 minutes. Harrison Barnes, 35. We're going to give him another one, 36. Marvin Bagley to 14. Let's just assume that he can do that. We're going to get Mo Harkless back in for 20 minutes. 30 minutes for Buddy Hield. 34 for Tyrese Halliburton. 35 for Fox. Davion Mitchell played 24. I'll happily give him one additional minute. Yeah, we'll do it like that. And then just 3 generic-ass minutes to somebody. No, I guess they went like a normal rotation. All right, who can I give these minutes to? Mo Harkless can certainly get one. We'll give 2 more to Bagley. It won't matter. Rates don't have to change. So I think we're done. As we look at Portland individually, Dame and CJ, and that's it. As any priorities, as we look at Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox, 7,300 on FanDuel, 7,600 on DraftKings. Tyrese Halliburton is 5,800 on DraftKings, looks great. Harrison Barnes is 6,200 on DraftKings, looks great. Holmes for 6,100, looks great. Sacramento is underpriced on DK. Oz, do I like 13-game slates? Absolutely not. No one should. Let's run. All right, if you haven't hit the like button yet, do so. It's time to run our crunches. It's time to find out optimal lineups to start the day. So this is my optimal lineup on FanDuel, 7:48 a.m. We've got LaMelo Ball, De'Aaron Fox, Malcolm Brogdon, Josh Giddey, Karis LeVert, Sadiq Bey, Christian Wood, Wendell Carter Jr., and Jakob Poeltl. I don't like that. You can drop down 0.2 of a point, swap out De'Aaron Fox for Corey Joseph, Karis LeVert for Tobias Harris, and Christian Wood for Bam. I mean, I want this lineup more than this one if it's playing, but I don't know. Not fun. That Pacers team is going to be a problem for me. I really want to talk to Adam about that on the strategy show. William, yes, you do. Şengün should not be popping up for anything on a day like today. Oh, man. This is just one of those slates. By the way, guys, I am not expecting to play tonight. 13 games, family in town, Thanksgiving tomorrow. The amount of work that it's going to take. The fact that if you want to play tonight's slate, you probably need to sit down and start prepping at at least I would need to start sitting down to prep at 5 o'clock. And I would be married to my computer until 10 o'clock when we finally get the news. So I'm going to try to get some updates out later tonight. I don't know how that's going to work. If we go out to dinner, no chance. If we don't, I can likely get an update out, but it's the holidays. I don't think anybody's going to be too mad at me. All right, power rankings on FanDuel. Corey Joseph, Christian Wood, Jakob Pertl, Josh Giddey, Chuma Okeke, De'Aaron Fox, Sadiq Bey, LaMelo Ball. I mean, it's just flat from there. Top 5 are Corey Joseph, Christian Wood, Jakob Pertl, Josh Giddey, and Chuma Okeke. So just what everybody was expecting. Dylon in here. 450 on the West Coast. Dylon, and Dylon, because I spit hot fire. AJP, that is not a thing. It is the same. It's just as easy to cash on a huge slate as it is on a small slate. The size of the contest and how many people they pay is the only determining factor of how it is to cash. They don't get easier or harder. Because I spit hot fire is probably still the tagline at joshengelman.com. Let me double check. Oh, it is. I can see it up there. Oh, you can't. Oh, it's in the browser bar right here. I guess it's not on the site anymore. I'll need to find a place that could show up. Anyway, DraftKings Optimals. This one I expect to at least look better than the FanDuel version. Maybe not. Malcolm Brogdon, Fred VanVleet, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr. I must have Wendell Carter Jr. just dramatically. Where's my boy at? Where's the Wendell Carter Jr. lover dude? Got to get that dude back in here. I don't know. He's 55. I mean, look. Is he down a couple minutes? Sure. Wendell Carter Jr. was $7K a week and a half ago. I mean, his price is $5,500 now, and he's got power forward center, so I guess I'm not all that mad about it. Brogdon, VanVleet, Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton, Brandon Ingram, Jakob Pertl. Fully balanced lineup. Nobody more expensive than $7,800. You can drop down 0.8 of a point. You get VanVleet out of there for Anthony Edwards, and you swap Halliburton for Harry Barnes. All right, sure. Power rankings. If Wendell Carter Jr. is first, I'm going to make a change. I don't care if he's in the top section, but he can't be number 1. No, shit, he might be number 1. Where did RJ Hampton come from? Oh my god, this Magic team is the death of me. Why is RJ Hampton popping? Yeah, this is going to be a real credible contenders video when I tell everybody that the top 2 plays on a 13-game slate are Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter Jr. Amazing. Amazing. Nobody's going to listen to my shit ever again. All right, power rankings on DraftKings. This ended up shaking out a little bit better than I was hoping. Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Fred VanVleet, Harrison Barnes, Miles Turner, and now it's just packed in here. But Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., VanVleet, and Harrison Barnes slightly separating from the pack. I don't mind this all that much. There is an upside here. I mean, we're talking about a guy that dropped 55 fantasy points in 25 minutes against the Jazz. He just hasn't been shooting as much lately, but you would think he'd shoot a little bit more if Cole Anthony is out. So I have no problems with this other than just being nervous about his minutes. Guys, 13 games up, 13 games down. It is 7:54 a.m., 7:55 a.m. We made it through this slate. We came out the other side. So that is going to do it for the process show. Again, no process tomorrow. You guys can sleep in. I can't. I've got NFL shows to do. But we're here now. We're through the big one. We've got another big one on Friday. I think it's 10 games. But I think there's an 11th. It could just be 11 and then 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, all right. So there's 11 games. There's a 12th game that starts at 3:30. So you get a, what's the word I'm looking for? Showdown slate at 3:30 on Friday, which should wet the whistle a little bit. And then we'll be back for another 11 on Friday, which I can only imagine I'm not actually playing again. I assume the next slate that I actually play is Monday night of next week. Jake Statler, any way you can briefly show or talk about your sorting process? I've been trying to refine the way that I sort. I weigh projections and ownership. They're the only two things that I look for. I'm willing to give up some points of fantasy projection in order to make my lineups more unique, but there's really not all that much to it. Those are the only two things that I'm looking at. There's not too much that I get too bogged down for. You just want to understand what your relationship is between how many fantasy points you're willing to step down from where you know the optimal is. Every one of those fantasy points that you give away, you want to make up for that with your lineup being slightly more unique. That's all. But those are the only two things that I sort anything by. Projection and ownership. Guys, that's it. I want to go get like a little snack to start my day. I got to record contenders, and then Adam and I will be back. I don't know if we start at 10 or 9:45. Let me look. Brian, what is your target ownership for the team overall? I don't look at target ownership. The slate size changes that. I don't believe, like, you got to look at that individually every single slate if you want to. It's not, that's not a thing that you want to just think about. Because in and of itself, the total ownership is a completely irrelevant number. Is today? Oh my God. For some reason, I was thinking today was Friday. All right. Adam and I are live at 9:45. So strategy show at 9:45. Thanks again to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor of this show. Again, use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up to get up to $100 on your first deposit. Enjoy, everybody. Make sure you're coming back for the strategy show. Adam and I are going to have a lot to talk about. And since I'm not going to get to talk to you guys again until Friday morning, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope that you have a good day tomorrow. Enjoy the time with whoever you're spending it with. And if you're not spending it with anybody, which I have done in the past, sometimes that's just what you need. Enjoy yourself for that one, too. Those are sometimes fun. I did the first summer that I moved, or the first year that I moved to North Carolina, I got myself a 6-pack and a garlic bread crust DiGiorno pizza, and I'm not going to lie, I was pretty happy about it. It was good. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. It's the best. Maybe we'll do something for Friday's show, but that's it. Goodbye.